Okay, so good evening all. So we are in the last class of this your course, that is animal physiology, right? And hopefully you all have learned something out of this, because generally let's expect that, and hopefully that will help you in future. So as you are all must aware, or you must have gone through the lectures of this week. So this week is morely based on endocrinology part, okay? And I would like to suggest you guys that in endocrinology, basically you need to understand uh, the different diseases, okay? First of all, you need to know several points. Apart from this lecture, I would just like to give you some basic guidelines, rather, that you should know which gland is present where, what it is secreting, and what is its function. And apart from this, in which disease it is associated with. Okay, this is what the entire endocrinology basics is resides with. And if you go into details, then everything is related with some upstream signaling that is associated, some feedback mechanism, and some functional aspects or some functional metabolism that is combinedly results in a particular endocrine functions. Okay, but in this level, at least you should know aware of the different hormones, different secretory glands, the part of the gland that is responsible for its secretion, and apart from this, the disease it is associated with, and in the absence and presence, if it is present in more concentration or more amount than what is happening, and if it is lacking in production, then what is happening, and in what condition this is basically happening. Okay, if I'll just give you a basic example, we all aware of growth hormones, right? So growth hormone is basically secreted from pituitary, right? So growth hormone is responsible for growth. Okay, now if it is in excess amount, then it will cause a disease. If it is in less amount, like hypocondition, it is also going to cause you diseases, right? And both of these condition is a downstream results of some upstream signaling pathways. Okay, it is associated with some genetic conditions, it might be associated with metabolic conditions, and that is what responsible for the diminished or hyperexpression of this particular gland. Okay, so this is what we need to understand. So in today's lecture, we are going to have few questions based on your some gland. It is not going to cover most of it, but a few, and I expect all of you are already aware of it, but we'll go and discuss about one after others. Okay, so if you see the first question on your screen, so it is basically which of these hormone is not related with stress. Okay, we are here to just discuss, right? So I'm just discussing from the general aspect. Okay, so now what is stress? Okay, yeah, glycine is not a hormone at all, that is fine, definitely correct answer it is. But okay, so I'll just give you some idea about stress. Okay, so what is stress? Okay, so stress जो होता है, it can be of different types. Okay, it can be physical stress, it can be mechanical stress, it can be metabolic stress, it can be hormonal stress. Okay, so now the point is that what is the what basically stress does. Okay, so in our body there are receptors, we all are aware of receptors that are called stress receptor. Okay, and the entire body metabolism is confined to a particular phenomenon that is called your signaling pathways, okay, cell signaling or communications. So whenever there is a ligand bind to a receptor, that will result to the downstream signaling pathway. Similarly, when there is stress, okay, our stress receptor get activated. Okay, now these hormones comes to the play and act as a ligands, right? And that is results in the different downstream pathway, signaling pathway. Now the three options that you can see in your screen are basically adrenaline, cortisol, and one is your catecholamines. Okay, and the common thing about all three are that they all are secreted from adrenaline. Okay, so mind that adrenaline is mainly responsible for stress balance. Okay, now within these there are we are discussing like there are different hormones secreted from adrenal cortex. Okay, now adrenal cortex secretes adrenaline, that is more or less known as fight or flight response. Okay, now what is fight or fight response? Whenever something is coming against you, you are just so much motivated that your body is going to handle it, and that is how it is regulated by blood pressure increasing, by heart rate increasing. By increasing the heart rate and blood pressure, our body is going to respond against the fight or flight. Okay, one other response is called fright, when you are fearing, when you are afraid of. Okay, and that is basically responsible by cortisol. Okay, now what cortisol kya karta? What cortisol do? Okay, cortisol will store all your energy and provide to the brain so that it can think. Okay, because if you are frightened, okay, then your body is not going to work anything. The response is completely your nerve signaling. Okay, it is a what is fear? Fear is generally a, you can say, Hindi में बोल सकता हूँ मैं, बैम है. There is nothing called fear. That is only a situation that is created by our brain, right? That we are fearing. Okay, so this is basically done by cortisol. Okay, and catecholamines जो होते हैं, that is also one hormone that is secreted from adrenaline only, and that is also responsible for controlling stress via controlling by, it is basically present in different part, right? It can control lungs, it can control heart rate, it can control digestive system. Now how it controls? See, whenever you are frightened, whenever you are excited, whenever you got your result, whenever you got some good or bad news, when you are excited, you generally find you are not going to feel hungry, because all this energy, okay, it is not going to like, or suppose you are like, suppose today we are going to see a movie and we are awakened for the entire night. So now your entire energy is utilized in that way that your digestive system is not going to perform properly. Okay, because whenever you are sleeping, why sleep is required? Okay, sleep is one of the important factor that balanced you, or that ensure you that you are healthy. Okay, now how it is regulating? It is that when you are sleeping, the entire energy is conserved toward your digestive system and circulatory system. Okay, because at that particular time no other functions are running. So in this way, when you are frightened, when you are afraid of, or when you are doing some function, your entire energy is drained in that particular way, so that other parts are not performing at that particularly well. You are not going to feel tired, you are not going to sleep. So this is what generally you might feel. Okay, so this way the stress responses work in our body. Okay, now the next question is that which hormone is involved in the secretion of milk? Okay, generally milk secretion में दो hormones use होता है. Okay, so whenever you are getting some stimulus, whenever the mother is getting some stimulus from the child, okay, so it is basically releasing two hormones. Okay, now how it is happening? So whenever you are getting a stimulus, whenever a mother is getting a stimulus, it is going to activate its pituitary. Okay, and pituitary is going to release prolactin releasing hormone, that is PRH. Mind it that pituitary is a place from where there are two parts, anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary. So in the anterior part, you will not find any hormone releasing, but it secretes all the tropin hormones, it is called. It is releasing hormones. It allow the glands to release that hormone. Okay, so it is basically secreting prolactin releasing hormone to secrete prolactin. Okay, and oxytocin is the hormone that is directly secreted from the posterior pituitary. Okay, actually it is not secreted, rather it is secreted from the hypothalamus and stored at the posterior pituitary, and it is released from there in response to the stimulus to secrete milk. Okay. Okay. So the next question is that the deficiency of which of the element cause issues with thyroid gland. Okay. You guys must aware of that thyroid releases 2-3 hormones, that is called, one is triiodothyronine, one is called tetraiodothyronine, that is basically thyroxine and threonine. Okay. So yeah, the answer will be iodine, but the thing is that how it is worked. I'm just going to explain a bit about how it works. Okay. So it works in a way that you can see the two diagram in the screen, right? In the left you see when there are sufficient dietary iodine, okay, hypothalamus is releasing your thyroid releasing hormone. Okay, that is released to the pituitary. Sorry. Hypothalamus is giving signals through TRH to the pituitary that secretes TSH. Okay, that is thyroid stimulating hormone or something like that, TSH. Okay, so this TSH, what it does, it makes the thyroid gland to secretes the thyroxine, that is T3 and T4 hormones. Okay, now if there is no dietary iodine, okay, what will happen? The hormone will release from the pituitary. The hormone will come to the, signal will come from the hypothalamus, hormone will release from the pituitary, but since there is no iodine, okay, that signal, that TSH signal, the TSH and TRH signals will not going to perform into the results, that is your T3 or T4. Okay, so T3 and T4 are not going to secrete, but unless and until T3 or T4s are not secreted, TSH will secretes, right? Because this is the mechanism that unless and until T3 or T4 are there, it is the feedback mechanism. Because if there is no T3 or no T4, then the pituitary is going to secrete TSH. Okay, and the TSH accumulates inside the pituitary, right? So that will cause the increase in the increase in the thyroid, and you will find there are several diseases like goiter, Graves' disease. All these are responsible of iodine deficiency. All these diseases are results of iodine deficiency. So whenever there is iodine deficiency, you will find all these hormones are, the upstream signaled hormones are going to secrete. But since the downstream signaling hormones, that is T3 and T4, are not being secreted, the TSH will get accumulated in the thyroid and will cause an enlargement of the thyroid. Okay, so similar happen in other thyroid diseases as well. So iodine is the important responsible for the synthesis of, because it is a precursor molecule basically responsible for the synthesis of these two hormones, that is threonine and thyroxine. Okay. Okay, now question number 4 is that islets of Langerhans are responsible for what? Okay, so see, islet of Langerhans in the islet of Langerhans there are different kind of cells. Okay, we all know that there are different type of cells. I have given just all what they are and what they are basically synthesizing. So one is your assigner cells. Okay, that is basically responsible for exocrine functions, that secretes your digestive enzymes, enteroendocrine hormones, you must aware of. Okay. Second point is that there are two cells, alpha and beta. Alpha cell secretes glucagon. Okay, glucagon क्या करता है? It reduces the blood glucose level. Sorry, it increases the blood glucose level. Rather, it's stored. Okay, when there is low blood glucose, so glucagon what it will do? It will form the glycogen to glucose. Okay, it will increase the blood glucose level. Okay, by converting glucagon to glucose. However, what insulin do? Insulin is basically when there is more sugar. Sugar patients are generally given insulin. When there are more sugar in the blood, so what insulin will do? Insulin will convert the glucose to glycogen, and it will store. Okay, so beta cells in the pancreatic isolates of Langerhans is basically responsible for the secretion of insulin. Okay, now two more cells are, one is delta cells and one is F cells, that is not prominently found, but they are found. Now delta cells are responsible for secretion of somatostatin. Okay, now I just want to tell you that what is somatostatin. One more term is there, somatotropin. Okay, so mind is that whenever there is a tropin, tropic hormones, tropic means trop means growth. Okay, somatotropin is basically responsible for growth. It is a growth hormone, rather you can say. However, somatostatin is inhibiting that growth hormone. Okay, so somatostatin is responsible for the inhibition of the growth hormone. Okay, now this somatostatin that is responsible for inhibition of growth hormone is basically secreted by your delta cells. Apart from this, somatostatin is also secreted from some other cells, that is in the pituitary. Okay, now F cell secretes pancreatic polypeptide that is also responsible for digestions and some other functions. The functions are not clear yet. Rather you can go and find some literature, I don't know rather, and even it is not clearly mentioned anywhere. But you need to understand that sometimes question comes like, which cells in the pancreatic Langerhans is responsible for exocrine functions? Okay, the simple answer will be your assigner cells. Okay, and endocrine functions, this is your alpha and beta cells. Clear? Even delta cell you can take. Okay, now next question is that parietal cells are present in where? So parietal cells are basically present in the stomach. Okay, you can find here in this diagram that the stomach structure is, you all are aware of this cardia, fundus, corpus and pyloric regions, which are different regions of the stomach. I expect everybody are well aware of that. And there are different cells in the stomach layers. Okay, stomach ka jo cell layers hote hain, there are different cells, different kind of cells, and they have different functions. Because what happen actually in the stomach, you will find it need to maintain different conditions. Okay, it need to secrete digestive juice, it need to secrete HCl, it need to secrete enzymes, it need to secrete mucus, right? So there are different functions and everything have different roles. What mucus do? It protects the layer. What oxyntic cells do? It secrete HCl, gastric acid, to digest food. Okay, what your parietal cell do? It secretes most probably HCl. You can see actually I think it is HCl, but you can see. Okay, so this is what they have different other functions, and for that there are different kind of cells we found in the stomach. Okay, mucus cell is basically goblet cell is also secret mucus, and chief cells is there, right? Yeah, chief cell is there. You can do one thing. You need to remind that what all these cells secretes. This is also one important question in any examination you will find, because it comes like what parietal cell is responsible for, what oxyntic cell is responsible. Both are similar actually. What chief cell is responsible for, what mucus cell secretes. Okay, what enteroendocrine cell secretes. These are different cells. Question number 6 is your Leydig cells are present in where? So Leydig cells are basically present in your testes, okay, and these are responsible for the secretion of testosterone. Okay, I think all of you are well aware about that. But now the question is that, do females secrete testosterone? Anybody? Okay, anyone else? Any idea? Just would like to say one more point that you might have heard in news or like, yeah, saying something. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Being male or female. Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Anybody else? So there are Leydig cells or not? What is your justification behind that? Okay. Okay. Then just let me clear you that. In female, you will find different level of testosterone. It can be. It's not like that. Yeah. It's general that testosterone's level should low, so that it is a major defining factor of being a cell to form male germline cells or female germline cells. But when it comes to individuals, then you will find that there are different level of testosterone in different individuals. Okay, now this is basically defined by one cell that secretes testosterone in females, that is called ovarian Hillers cell. Okay, this is just similar to Leydig cells in male. You can see this figure. Leydig cells is not a part of the system. It is not a part of, it is not a part of seminiferous tubules. It is found in the intracellular space, right? So similarly, in female, there is a cell called ovarian Hillers cell that is also found just like Leydig cells at the interstitium, and it is responsible for the secretion of testosterone in female. But you will find it's in some female, like there are female athletes as well. There are females, there are female athletes. There are female who are more having testosterone level. So that allow them to, what testosterone is basically responsible for physical growth. That is basically responsible for the physical growth. Okay, and it provides some strength. So generally, if you find the athlete ho gaye, the persons they are involved in such works, okay, they possesses a high amount of testosterone that is responsible for more physical activity and more physical activeness, and that is basically secreted by ovarian Hillers cell. Okay, so we can't say Leydig cell is present because Leydig cell is a part of testis. Okay, however, the alternate is that the ovarian Hillers cell, that is called OSC, is found in ovary. Okay. Now the question number 7 is that the amacrine cell is present at eyes. Okay, so these cells are basically just present below the optic nerve, just above the optic nerve. Rather, you can say the optic nerve is associated from the amacrine cells, and they are basically found in eyes. Okay. I even don't know the detailed function about that. I should have read, but I don't know, because to speak frankly, I heard for the first time about cancer. So you guys can just have a look at it, okay? And you will find some function of it. Okay, yeah. The question is that amacrine cells are present in what? So it is in eyes, okay? And it is just present nearer to the optic nerve. So it is basically what I have come across. It is the cells that provides support and nutrition growth for the rod and cone cells, because in the upper layer of the eyes you will find there are rods and cones, and amacrine cells are the one who balance that particular cells. Okay, now the red blood cell formation is orchestrated by the following enzyme. Okay, so the answer will be your lipoxygenase. Now what happened is that the lipoxygenase catalyzes the formation of hyperperoxides. Okay, now what are the hyperperoxides? And from the polyunsaturated fatty acids. Okay, and that increases the amount of linolenic and arachidonic acid. Okay, the question is that red blood cell formation is orchestrated by the following enzymes: acetylcholinesterase, lipoxygenase, alcohol dehydrogenase, and gyrases. We all know gyrases is your topoisomerase. Acetylcholinesterase is responsible for acetylcholine breaking. Alcohol dehydrogenase is responsible for breaking down alcohols. Okay. However, lipoxygenase is the one is responsible for red blood cell formation, and that is because it converts the polyunsaturated fatty acid into the linolenic and arachidonic acid, and that is the part of the RBC maturation that helps in the process of RBC maturation, the conversion from the erythroblast to the erythrocytes. Okay. Now, posterior pituitary secretes which hormone? Prolactin, insulin, growth hormone, or vasopressin. So, as we have discussed also, and you all are, I expect all of you should, because this is one of the first thing that you must have studied in endocrinology, that the pituitary is responsible for several tropic hormones like adenocorticotropic hormones, prolactin releasing hormones, there are growth hormones, there are follicular stimulating hormones, right? However, the posterior pituitary is responsible. It is not responsible for any secretion, but it stores two hormones, that is oxytocin and vasopressin. Okay, these two hormones are stored at posterior pituitary and they are released because it is released from the nuclei at hypothalamus. Okay, it is released from the nuclei at hypothalamus and is stored at posterior pituitary, from which it is released. Okay, apart from this, ADH, antidiuretic hormones. Okay, this one is very close to vasopressin. See, if you realize this name, antidiuretic hormone. Okay, so it performs the similar functions that vasopressin functions. So, in the absence of antidiuretic hormone, the person will suffer from diabetes. Okay, and frequent urination, rather, I can say. The next question is, erythropoietin is involved in the production of erythropoietin. Erythropoietin is responsible in the formation of erythrocytes, I can say, the simple words. Okay, erythropoietin is responsible for erythropoiesis, and erythropoiesis is responsible for the RBC formation, and the process is called erythropoiesis. In the process of erythropoiesis, what happens? The pluripotent hemopoietic stem cells that is present in the bone marrow, they basically converted into pro-erythroblast, and for the erythroblast, that is called your normoblast, like pro-normoblast, normoblast, and then reticulocytes, and then erythrocytes. So this journey is basically decided by one of the factors that is called erythropoietin. It is basically a protein that is responsible for it basically binds to the cognate receptor that is present in the bone marrow, erythroid progenitor cells, and that is responsible, and it can goes to multiple pathways to form the RBC, final RBC. Okay, now erythropoietin is the protein, or it is the factor that is responsible for the erythropoiesis and formation of RBCs. Okay, and similarly in the processes are called like leukopoiesis and all these things for formation of WBCs and all. Okay, so this is the thing regarding your there are very few glands that like in 10 questions you cannot touch more glands, right? But even we I think if you have gone through the lecture series and you all are aware of all the system, you can start from the brain. Okay, it is you will find the pituitary, right? even above pituitary you will find the hypothalamus, because hypothalamus is not it's a very important mastermind, rather you can say. It secretes all the signal to pituitary, and pituitary is the master organelles, or it is called also master gland, that is able to secrete all the releasing hormones. It cannot secrete one hormone, but it secretes releasing hormones, so many releasing hormones. So pituitary is the master gland that control all other glands. Okay, now what all other glands? It started from the thyroid, then you will find the thymus, then you will find the testes, then you will find the islets of Langerhans, that is found in the pancreas. Okay, so all these are basically regulated and controlled by your pituitary. Okay, so pituitary is the master gland that is responsible for controlling all other glands. And if you will find in the presence and absence, there are different diseases that cause. Like we discussed, if pituitary is releasing some signals to thyroid, and if thyroid is not able to form thyroxine, then because the secretion is not going to stop, right? So this will cause disorders in the gland. So similarly, all other regulations are like that only. So we need some precursor molecule in order to synthesize that particular hormones or that particular chemicals, that particular transmitters, you can say, or that particular ligands, because all these hormones are basically ligands. All these hormones are basically, basically these are proteins. Basically these are glycoproteins. Basically some are, you will find majority of these are amines. Okay, so this bind to the receptor in order to perform the downstream signaling, in order to in order to have some signaling cascades that results in the downstream pathway, and all these are regulated by one mechanism that is called feedback mechanism that we started in the first class. Okay, so the synthesis of a hormone is regulated by a feedback mechanism. The desynthesis or to stop a hormone, you will need the feedback mechanism. And all this feedback mechanism is regulated by the mechanism called homeostasis. So this is what a circle that this 12 week of lectures comprises with. So you start with homeostasis, and finally we realize that everything is controlled. And if you find whatever system we have studied, starting from neuronal system, muscle, and vascular, cardiovascular systems, and till endocrine, you find you can relate any part with anything. Okay, you can relate any part with anything, and that will make you to explore this physiology in a better way. Like some of you might find yourself expert in biochemistry, expert in structural biology in last 1, 2, or 3 years, and that particular time it may seems like you need to understand the biochemistry, you need to understand the structural biology, but ultimately you need to apply all those things in physiological functions. it should have some physiological significance. Then only your work on that molecule or whatever will be worth, so that you have done something for the mankind. Okay, that you can be able to perform only if you will understand in details the physiological functions of the system. Okay, so this is what I can say, so that you all should try, give examination. I think all of you have got the admit card. So when your examination is there? Oh, fine, you have still 15 days. So you read, yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. 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 Actually, what happened, you can find both. When I was there, you will find there is a passage and you will find some answers. Okay, because what they do, like suppose the kind of answers I am telling one story. Okay, suppose a person is there. Okay, he has regarding today's lecture only, I am just trying to manipulate one question. a person is there, is finding a soiled thyroid or soiled neck, come to the doctor, and the doctor asked him to take T4. Okay, the person goes to home, take T4, and that find that the disease is not able to resolve permanently. He finds some relief, but after few weeks he got again the same situation, and further he come to the doctor, and the doctor suggested him to improve in his diet, and he provides some high quality salts in order to balance his complete diet. Okay, now the question will be there, like, what is responsible for the particular disease, whether it is the, and what is more important according to you, whether it is the hormone that is hormonal synthesis that is responsible for the disease, or it is the precursor molecule, it is the micronutrients that is responsible for the disease. Okay, then the second question will, in the same passage, will be like, what would be the disease, and there you will find few options. Okay, and you will find 3-4 more questions with that passage. Okay, so this kind of question you will get. This is what essay type question. No. In computer system, I don't think so, because in our time we are not getting that kind of question. You might find one word question that they ask, like they can ask you like fill in the blanks and all. They can ask that kind of question, like the process of erythrocyte formation is called what? You find that kind. Yes. You will get affected, you will get disease, you will get some cancer, basic cancer, you will get some severe malabnormalities. Suppose you just follow one thing, don't sleep in the night for 3 days, sleep in the morning, your entire metabolic system will change. You will not going to get good digestion, you will not going to get good sleep. So this is pretty simple, you can just think on you. Physiology is that what we are running, that is what physiology is. Okay. So hopefully you will get some MCQ and MS2 type of question. You are not going to they are not going to ask you to write essay. So you all have still 15 days. So you go read and you will find anything tough, or you will find anything that you need to discuss. I think you guys are aware about my mail ID. You can just mail me. Okay. I think you guys aware? You can just mail me. Okay. My the professional ID is something like bo21resc11008 @iith.sc.in. Yes. I don't think so. Are you being able to get it? No, they didn't provide. I think you are going to give examination on the same question. I don't know, but the questions are not that much going to change. That's why I don't think you will find. I don't think it is available in online, because you are going to give exam online and everything is online. So it is very hard to get a question. And rather, I can suggest you don't need question. Rather, you just need to understand. See what to do to get a good marks. Just go through the assignments, what you have done. Go through the questions that I have discussed. I have discussed hardly 120 questions in 12 weeks, right? So you just need to, it's very simple. Out of 120, 80 you just know blindly. 80 not, you will know 100. 20 questions are like that, you might feel confusion, right? Or it is just like out of the syllabus. Like some questions like, am I crine gland? If you have not aware of, you cannot give answer. You will find where it is. It is a gland? I don't know. So it's kind of this. So because you find NPTEL assignment, you will find there are some questions that you have not read throughout the season or throughout the lecture. but you will find that question. Yeah, so that question are the tricky one that you cannot answer even if you have not gone through. So do one thing, that just go through the question that we are discussing, go through the all the question that you have done throughout the session. You will find 25% from there only. And apart from this, just read the transcript. You all have that transcript, English transcript. Yeah, just if you can see the lectures, that is very good. If you have seen once, that is enough to get good mark. And if even you have not able to listen, see all the videos, go through the transcript. It will take very less time. Okay. Okay, just I can find it. Just a minute. Let me see. Okay, wait. Do they provide any link to you guys? Yep. Okay. Oh, fine. So you are not being able to get the questions, right? Just a minute. I'm just looking at it. Who can you just tell me the paper name? Animal Physiology, right? Just a minute. I think it is not available here. But I think you should find out in some external portal. But yeah, you can just go through the different sites, okay, and we can see. Yeah, and the best thing is you can do is just go through the transcripts. Just read everything. That is the best way to get good marks. Because if you even go through previous year questions, then it will take time, right? And even you will not going to cover everything. So better to go through the transcripts. Yeah, but I'll see if I'll find, then I can just add this to your PPT. I can just provide that link. Yeah. I think you will get within 10 days. You will get, receive in NPTEL. You might get in the just day before that examination, but you will get within 10 days. Don't worry about that. You just visit that, and most probably you will get in 5 to 10 days. Not even that. I think since your exam is in 30, you will get by 20. And you all should score good. Since you are till the last lecture, it seems like you guys are interested in this topic, and you should. It's not important to score good. It's important to understand what you have read through these 12 years. I don't care about what you score or whether you get gold medal or silver medal, but if you even 10% understand this topic, like you know what you know. But apart from this, if you increase your knowledge by 10%, that is more than enough regarding this physiology. Even by teaching you, I came across several things like, and even it revised me. Even after 3, 4, 5 years, if I will apply for some positions, it might help me. Okay, so always think like that. And even if even I know, because there are some limitations that this time what I could not give, because there are some situations, you need to understand that, and we'll see if I'll again get opportunity to teach like in next sessions, then we'll definitely try to improve. But it was very nice to have you guys in the class. Officially, I can say that I have teased for the first time in my entire career, because I am in my PhD first year only. Okay, so for the first time I have taught some group of guys online, and recording all these things, putting stalls is very nice. And apart from this, really I enjoyed the teaching you, and hopefully you guys have learned something. Like even if you will remember 1 or 2 statements from me throughout the 12th class, that is enough, and that is what a teacher wants as a journey, and that is what I expect. And I can guarantee you, if somebody have even attended 4 or 5 classes, any one questions, definitely if he had listened to me, then he will definitely get 1 2 questions in his entire career, if you'll find in any examination or seat anywhere. That is definitely at that particular time you might realize that I have read in SOAM or NPTEL. That is the point. But apart from this, all the best to you guys for your entire career, and it seems a long journey to go. You all are the beginners or most of you seems beginner, but somebody of you have already started careers, might be. So all the best to you for your future endeavor, and hopefully you will meet some at some other point. And apart from this, as you all know, we all are available in LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Facebook, and all these things. So you guys just come. If you find anything tough, anything to discuss at any particular time, you can just feel free to contact for any suggestions and all. Okay. So with this, wish you all the very best, and thank you so much for joining the classes, taking NPTEL as a course, and everything. We'll see you. Thank you so much. Shalom. Bye bye. Even I have a thank you slide, most probably. Okay guys, thank you so much. Bye.